Hey guys, welcome to the Process Podcast. Today's guest has a CRCST, CHL, CER, CIS. He's also a virtual instructor at Aseptic Solutions Technical Institute. He's also a co-founder of Aseptic Technique. He had an article wrote on healthcare purchasing news. He also had another two articles wrote at Healthcare Purchasing News, one on pre-treatment in the operating room and one on aseptic technique training programs. Welcome to the show, Dante Jones.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, so Dante, can you introduce yourself, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, please?
So I've been in healthcare for about 11 years now. I started when I was 19 years old. I I took a private instructor program through Logan Consultants back in 2008. Did pretty well in the class. Finished the class. I believe it was about 4 months. Accelerated course similar to what we offer. From there, I went on to take I did my internship at Bryn Mawr Hospital overnight. I was working full time at a credit union. So I was doing that for about 24 hours a week until I was able to get my 400 hours. And from there, I took my certification. Didn't do too well in the first attempt. I believe I had a 69%. So from there, I started studying rigorously every day until I retained the information and I felt comfortable. I went back to take it again, took it, passed, and I got like an 88 or 89%. And from there, I started applying for jobs. I had 3 interviews lined up. One at DuPont Numerous Hospital in Delaware, another at Cooper University Hospital, and then at Abington Memorial Hospital, which is now called, I believe, Abington Jefferson. So from those 3 interviews, I ended up subsequently going with Abington Memorial Hospital because the pay was better, and it was close to home because I lived in the Northeast area of Philadelphia. So it was about a 15-minute drive from my house. So that started my journey as a sterile processing professional. Started off as a technician there in 2009. From there, I went on to be a technician slash acting supervisor, which I ended up training a lot of the newer staff that were on board, getting some of the agency precepted. And then we also took on endoscope reprocessing of scopes, which I ended up training all of the supervisors and the staff that wanted to learn because it was voluntary at the time. And that process was about at least 1 to 5 years from transitioning from a Tech 1 onto an acting supervisor at Abington Memorial Hospital. And from there, after I left Abington after about 4.5 5 years, I went on to work at ARIA, which is now part of Jefferson as well. I worked there with the 3B physicians, Dr. Booth, Bartolozzi, and I think his name was Dr. Bear, I believe, ended up leaving. I might be forgetting one. But I worked there at ARIA Health for about 2 years. It was a new thing there at ARIA Health, which is in Langhorne, as far as getting their orthopedic procedures and everything running. So I helped get them situated as far as developing account sheets, the new trays, and everything else at at ARIA Health / 3B Institute at the time. So from there, after the 2 years, I went on to transition on to work at Hospital University of Pennsylvania and Children's Hospital simultaneously as well, which that was about 2 to 3 years between the both of them. At Hospital University of Pennsylvania, I was a technician overnight. At Children's Hospital Philadelphia. I was a cardiac slash OR coordinator for the OR. Then from there, went on to work at Jefferson with Deannard. He was the educator for the Central Service Department. I was a night shift supervisor. Um, Ended up leaving there to go to Temple University Hospital as a supervisor, which I was the evening shift supervisor. Then from there, went on to Cooper University Hospital, where I was the manager of the Central Service Department and also its ambulatory centers and the surgery centers as well. And then I left there to take on a role with Sterile IMS as a clinical travel operations manager, which I really enjoyed a lot out of all of them because I got to travel for free, I had nice cars, free living expenses and stuff. My first assignment was in Miami, Florida, in the Dade County area. So I was working at Jackson Memorial Hospital, and it was pretty good. I had a condo down on Biscayne Boulevard that was paid for through Steris. So it wasn't, I had a good time there, but I had to come back home because my wife was expecting. So now I'm currently at Robert Wood Johnson, St. Barnabas Health System as the evening shift manager. And throughout the whole duration of time, I went back and got 2 degrees. I got my associates in business. I got a bachelor's in business, which I just obtained last year. Currently working on my MBA, which I took a little time off, but I'm about to get back into it. And along with, of course, my company, or our company, Accepted Technical Solutions, that I also manage with Mikkel and Terry, who I met at Temple University Hospital and Jefferson University Hospital. So that's kind of a nice little snapshot of who I am. I don't want to get too long-winded on each role. So
that's a long career for a young man like yourself. That's a lot. So let me ask you, what position did you like best in your career so far? What's the most rewarding position so far?
So the most challenging position I had was Cooper University Hospital. It was regulated heavily as far as making sure we do everything to standards. We had Monday morning rounds from administration, so they would come down every morning between 8 and 9 a.m. to make sure that there's no, the floors is well kept, make sure that the workstations was well kept, make sure there wasn't any leaking tiles, just everything. And then we have a checklist. So managing that aspect, and then of course managing the departments for the competencies, payroll, and then having the other entities as well, as far as the ambulatory centers. I had to manage the surgery centers and all their competencies and everything. So I think that was the most challenging role, but the one that I enjoyed the most will probably be Steris IMS. I enjoyed the most for the simple fact that I got to travel for free. I got to eat for free, and my first contract was in Miami. So I was living on vacation for free.
Oh, yeah, free is always good. Wow, that's a lot. Question. So being that your career is so long, I mean your resume is so long, what keeps you going and not settling for one area in the field? What keeps you going? What's your process for success?
So my process for success is just having a good work ethic, being structured, doing things in a timely manner, having things written. I'm a firm believer of writing things out and then having it somewhere that you can visualize, rather your nightstand. I have a little work area, a little office in my home, so I have things written there. And that, helps remind me of, okay, so on Monday through Thursday, I got to go to the gym between these amount of hours. Then, Tuesday through Thursday, I got to make sure that I'm available to help with my director in the development of our new department from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So, it's so just having things written down that, there's a constant reminder that where I need to be, what I need to be doing, has helped me throughout my career. And then just striving for more. My career started off, as a technician, and then I kind of went up the hierarchy pretty fast, as far as going from a tech, supervisor or acting supervisor, manager, travel manager, and yeah, I've had offers to be directors at places and stuff. Just really just trying to, strive for greatness really is the reason I took that trajectory of, moving around to different places. And, each role that I had throughout my career was never a lateral move. Each one was either higher compensation, or higher compensation and with more responsibilities and a higher role.
Mhm. Mhm. So, what motivates you? What motivates you to keep going? What's your process for motivation? What keeps you not saying, "Hey, I'm just gonna settle for this. I'm making enough money right now, and I'm just gonna pack it in. Maybe in 10 years, I'll make my next move." What keeps you motivated?
So my number one priority is my daughter, and my wife. So starting with my daughter, setting the foundation and making sure that she is financially secure for her future when she gets of age and has to go to school and everything and college and stuff. Then just taking care of my wife and making sure that we have what we need in our lives and stuff. So they're my number one motivation, and just really just having that. I like a challenge. So, I don't like to stay stagnant. So, just having that constant reminder that, I can obtain this, is the reason why, I keep going and keep striving for more and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I tend I feel the same way you do. Staying in one place for a long period of time really doesn't grow you as much unless you're comfortable. So sometimes you have to make yourself uncomfortable to actually grow. So I totally agree with you there.
Yeah,
So
I think our generation too, we kind of like move around a lot more because of the way that the world is structured with technology and stuff. And we're not like the baby boomers and stuff that, work hard, stay in one company for, 20, 30, 40 years. That's not, it's our trajectory is usually 1 to 5 years at a company. It's kind of follow that same pathway because it's so many opportunities now, especially in healthcare as it's ever growing. New technology, new opportunities, new roles being developed, and as sterile processing, for instance, becomes more and more in the spotlight, you see more quality roles like quality educators, quality managers, and stuff. You know, instead of just having that traditional line manager, technician, maybe a lead tech and supervisor, you see more infection control practitioners and stuff as well being partnered into into those roles in sterile processing.
sure, sure. So being that you're growing and you're moving so fast, who's your role model? Who are you like partnering your game after, so to speak? Who do you take cues from in terms of moving on into different places and educating yourself?
Good question. So I kind of took a lot of information in from a lot of my peers growing into the field. I've worked under Tony Griffin from Hospital University of Pennsylvania, who has a wealth of knowledge, a bunch of experience. David Fry, who I worked with at Cooper University Hospital in Abington, who has a wealth of knowledge and experience. Gino Lewis in Children's Hospital, Philadelphia. I mean, so I kind of, took a little bit from all of them and kind of crafted how I, manage my department now currently and how I see my career now and in the future. And then, of course, I also listen. I'm also active on LinkedIn. So, I read a lot of articles, listen to a lot of podcasts. Beyond Clean with Hank and I listen to his stuff a lot. Seminars, webinars, Isham Conference Expos. Hopefully, I can make was it Ohio this year.
Ohio, yeah.
That was nice to make Ohio. I was signed up for Chicago, but COVID happened.
Yeah. So did I. Yeah, then I got my refund. But
Yeah,
hopefully
so hopefully we can
Chicago.
make Ohio. It'd be nice.
Yeah, hopefully Ohio will be good. I'm definitely planning on going, and Lila spoke to me about that too. So I'm definitely, hopefully we'll get a little group together here and get some brainstorming in Ohio going on, and collaborate with some more ideas and some more things. What would you tell your younger self? I mean, in terms of making moves or not making certain moves, what would you tell your younger self if you had the opportunity to do so?
So I would probably have told my younger self to um, be to start school earlier. I took a little time off before I started going back to college. I think I started when I was 24, 25 when I got back into college. Had I started when I got certified when I was 19, I probably would have taken the route of business first and then transitioned into nursing, which I see a lot of value in nursing, even from a sterile processing perspective. And especially if you want to get into more consultant roles and stuff like that, I would have definitely probably transitioned into the nursing background. So I would have started college a lot sooner than later.
So, do you think college is important in the cell processing field, or what's your value on college in terms of cell processing?
Good question. So yay and nay. So I believe higher education is good, but I don't think it's required to be an effective leader in sterile processing. I know a lot of people who don't even have college degrees who are effective leaders, but I do think it teaches you responsibility um, as far as what you need to do, how you need to do it, how to conduct yourself and stuff. So in that aspect, I do, believe it helps in that realm. But as far as being like a good leader, sterile processing, whether a director or manager or educator, I don't believe it's required. I think it's one of those things. It's helpful, but I think more so college is should be taken if you have a target discipline such as nursing, or if you want to go to school to be for law or stuff like that. But going to school just for general studies, I believe is antiquated now, and I believe is not effective moving into the future.
Oh, thank you for that. I had a discussion with a couple people on that yesterday, and I had to explain it to them, but I think they got I had the same. I was going along the same lines you were going on, so I really appreciate that. So we're going to take a few second break, go into a commercial, and then we'll take a 30-second break. All right, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the Process Podcast. Today's guest is Dante Jones, and we're doing a one-on-one interview, getting to know him a little bit better. Him and his school, Aseptic Technique Solutions. On the timeline here, you could see Dante Jones, the school's website, and the date for new classes: March 6th, March 8th, March 14th, and was that June 1st?
May.
So June 9th?
No, May 1st.
May 1st, sorry. May 1st. So guys, if you want to call in, please do so. If you have any questions for Mr. Jones, we're here live on the 20th of February 2021. So call in. So Mr. Jones, I remember when I met you 4 years ago, was it? We had a good time at, at the facility we were at. So it was a good experience, very educational, so to speak. So yeah, it was good. It was tough, but it was good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot through that experience. We won't mention where we were at, but I know people know. So some people know. So, what initiatives or projects are you working on that you'd like the audience to know about?
So I have a bunch of projects that well, let's just say we're working on. We have a bunch of them. So currently the CER virtual class that starts March the 14th, Sundays, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. We're getting a lot of feedback from that. So I'm just really just working on finishing up the PowerPoints. The content's already created and everything. So it's just a matter of rolling out the PowerPoints, and we'll be starting on March the 14th. So I'm excited about that, because that's the first time teaching that class. And I'm actually teaching that with our coordinator, Latoya, from Hospital University of Pennsylvania, who's now currently a surgical tech. But she will be teaching that class with me. So I'm excited about that. And then we also um, have a bunch of possible partnerships with universities in the local area of Philadelphia, and then near probably hopefully Q2, Q3. You will have more information on that. And then we have a couple of possible instructors onboarding to also help with us in our virtual classes and some of our market in central and north New Jersey. So we're also excited about that as well, potentially bringing them on to help cover the Jersey market as we have an influx of students in the New Jersey area and in the New York area starting to enroll in our classes. So getting them situated and onboarded in the CER class, and then of course our in classes, which is our traditional classes. So a lot of the new things to come in the future, and then like I said before, the university partnerships will be really big for us.
Oh, cool. Question, I just thought of this. What, in terms of internships for students, because that's one of the big deals for students taking courses right now. They take the class and they pass with flying colors, and then they can't get an internship. So, what advice or does your institute provide in terms of internships for new students or for students who have completed the course?
So we require our students now to take and pass the provisional certification through ISHM, which is the curriculum that we teach. So as long as they have their provisional certification through ISHM, they've taken our class, they were in good standing with us. We work to onboard them into a facility that we're either contracted or have verbal agreements with, which we have several in the Delaware Valley, from the Philadelphia area to the Jersey areas, Delaware, and we also have places in different states that we deal with on a regular basis for some of our long distance learners. But for advice for students looking for a program, I would definitely say look for a program that has that internship or externship piece in it, because without having that, it's kind of like, you taking um, nursing class in your community college. You pass, you get your degree, and then you take your RN license. Well, you pass the course, get your degree, and they don't assist with you getting your clinical hours. It's the same concept for sterile processing. So you want make sure that you're taking your course with an institution that will assist you in that process of getting your internship.
Excellent, excellent. So, another question we didn't plan on. So, in terms of selecting a learning institution, what's your suggestion for someone who's looking, has no idea what sterile processing is, wants to make some more money, most likely living a previous career or job that they do not like? What's your advice if someone's looking for a class right now? What should they be looking for?
So I would first have them. I would direct them in different ways of obtaining information on sterile processing, as far as what sterile processing is, what it does, how it's done, and everything. And that's just as simple as having them Google sterile processing and looking up some descriptions on the website. And then I would take it a step further, depending on where you live at, I would say, go on Indeed.com and type in like the salary expectation, because you can do that now on Indeed and a bunch of other Glassdoor, a bunch of other websites, and it'll tell you what the salary is in that region where you live at. So I have them look at that as well, and then I'll be, pretty transparent with them, let them know that it's a physical job, like blue collar work. You have to be physically and mentally fit to be successful in sterile processing. Because it takes a lot of both mental and physical work to be successful in sterile process, especially when you're working at trauma hospitals, level one institutions, where the cases are, 50 or 100 cases a day. You got, gunshot wounds coming in, fractures coming in and stuff. You got a turnover set. So it's a very demanding job. So I'll just be transparent in that instance with them as far as, what they're potentially signing up for.
So, question: our friend Lila is on. You know Lila. I know we know Lila
Hey, Lila.
in the Philadelphia area. So, Lila, you have any? Give us examples of like career opportunities you could go into in sterile processing. I know the basics, but I mean, you teach the class every day. What other avenues can you go into being certified?
Good question. So there's a lot of different career opportunities now and in the future in sterile processing. Once you get your first certification as a CRCST, Central Service Technician, so once you obtain that first initial certification, you can go on to obtain your Certified Instrument Specialist one, your CIS. You can go on to get your certified endoscope reprocessing one, your CER, which those will align you in different roles if you're currently working in sterile processing, and endoscope reprocessing. If you want to do that, that may get you in the door for doing that. Your CIS may get you in the door for being an instrument specialist. As far as working in the purchasing side, I worked at places where instrument specialists, managed all the purchasing of instruments. They manage the contracts, the refurbishing, the ordering, the maintenance of the stuff. So you can potentially get into that. Then you have your educator role, which I believe Lala is currently in. You have that type of role, which that's becoming more of a broad spectrum of a quality role now. I see a lot of places doing a lot of quality QA. They call them QA/educator roles now, where the educator takes more of a data approach as far as measuring, what's trending as far as errors in the department, viral burden, trade discrepancies, case card issues if you have a case card system. So you can take that, and then you can also look into getting into medical device, sales. You can get into medical device sales, repair. So getting that first initial certification of a central service registered central service technician can lead, to a bunch of different opportunities in healthcare, besides just being a sterile processing technician. And of course, you can get into leadership roles, director, manager, and stuff of that nature as well. But you can get into other supportive roles. Once you get some years behind you, and some experience, you can definitely venture off to other avenues in healthcare.
Okay. So let's not get Lila's title mixed up.
I'm sorry, Lila.
So she
HLP and
she set us straight. Okay, so let's not mess things up.
I'm glad she put that up because that touches what I'm saying as far as that role. I can't even say educator because that educator role now is becoming more of a quality role, which at most facilities now their quality role is partnering with the infection control team and working with them hand in hand to make sure that they have processes in place that are making sure that that the workers are safe, but more importantly that the patients are safe as well. So that role has now expanded, especially as we have COVID and other things to worry about on a day-to-day basis. That role is going to definitely, I see, expand more and more, and the requirements I think will eventually become more as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, question. So, any advice? Oh, first, let me send a little plug for the Mid-Atlantic Central Association. We're having our webinar 3.5 CEs on the 27th of February 2021. I have to give a shout out. Please register, guys, for the webinar in advance, and then you'll get a chance to earn 3.5 CEs, and that's on February 27th. Also, anything you want to plug coming up soon and on your end, Dante?
So yeah, just to reiterate, our classes are listed below on our website as well. But we have several coming up. So we have our March 6th, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in class, CRCST. That is every Saturday, starting on that day. Then we have our March 8th, starting on, which is Monday evenings, and that will be from 6 p.m. to 8:30. Both our in classes are 16 weeks. Then we have our CER virtual class starting on March the 14th, and that's on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we're looking at probably having that in about, it's really our pilot class. So we're looking at probably a month and a half until that will be finished, since there's only 15 chapters. We cover 2 chapters per week. And then we have our next virtual class for CRCST, May the 1st, Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Okay, cool. Hope you get a big turnout for those classes. I know a lot of people are transitioning. I do have a few of your past students. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people are transitioning from careers that were not essential basically during the COVID times, and had some issues being employed, and a lot of people are flocking towards sterile processing. And your students have done really good. I've employed a few of them, so they're dedicated, and they have a clear vision for what they want. We have a call to the show. Hold on. Hello.
Brown Soda to Deannard to accept press 1.
All right.
Hang up.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I have a question for your guest about the virtual program that they're going to have available.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, since it's being virtual and the person is not live, outside of the hours for the virtual course, would there be any, I guess you could say almost like tech support or tutoring or anything offline that the students would have available to them?
I heard some of that. Did you say would they have any assistance as far as help?
Tech support.
With support? Yeah. So we have self-study as well that I didn't mention. So our self-study is self-paced. As you complete the chapters, you move on to the next chapter, which we started that, I think, a few years ago, and we've had thousands of students.
Yeah, can you listen on the podcast?
Yes, I have you playing through my vehicle, and then I called you through my phone.
Okay, so he should be coming through the podcast line. Okay, just hold on. Hold on 1 second. Dante, could you start your response again?
Okay, yeah, sure. So to answer your question, yes, we have actually two courses online. We have virtual and then we have self-study, which our self-study has been our traditional approach. Our virtual started during the pandemic, and we've kind of
Stop moving so I'm speaking. He's done talking. Okay, well, one more question because I'm sure the rest of the audience can hear him. I just can't hear him at all.
Okay, all right. After your question, hang up and then listen. All right?
yeah. Okay, we do that.
Okay. Here's
All
my
right.
last question.
All
My
right.
last question is about I went through a sterile processing course or what have you, and one thing they didn't have in the course was like instrumentation and preparing for an interview and developing different soft skills. I was just wondering, would any of the courses offer anything like that, like get the students familiar with instrumentation and things like that? And I'll take the answer off here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. So yes to both your questions. So starting with support on the online.
We've been trying to reach you.
Oh. Continue.
So starting with support on the online platforms that we have, we assist in both the virtual and our self-study. As far we have, I can't disclose what platform we use. We use two online platforms, but we do have 24/7 support. You would just simply message in your platform, your question or whatever, and then someone will get back to you in regards to your question, whether it's troubleshooting or if it's a question about understanding what a chemical integrator is and the difference between low temperature and high temperature sterilization. So you have that option and availability, as far as support on a 24/7 basis from our team, and that's both for our self-study and virtual class. So yes, we do assist if you have questions or if you wanted to talk about something in regards to healthcare or whatever. We do make ourselves available and helpful throughout that. And the other question I believe was on what was the other one she said, Deannard?
She called in about soft skills. Do you have education on
yes.
interviews, etc.?
So yes, we do offer. Yes, that's a big part actually. Mikkel, which is our managing partner of Accepted Technical Solutions, he oversees the professional development portion of our whole program. So he has a whole entire class, whether virtual or in class, that he holds usually every quarter, every 3 months, and going over some of those soft skills, how to conduct yourself in the interview, how to, what to say, what not to say, resume building. We also assist in resume building. We clean your resume up as well to make sure that it's acceptable, during that job application process and even internship process. Some places require resumes, and we also look over your cover letter as well to make sure that it's up to par. So yes, we assist in all that because that's a huge part of you being successful.
Oh, definitely. Unfortunately, I have had the privilege of interviewing students who finished their course and they had no idea what they were doing, how to do it, how to respond to simple questions. And I think one of the main questions is when you get to interview, one of the main questions you should prepare for is tell me about yourself. You should be able to come up with a 1 to 2 minute response, basically just telling the interviewer why you want the job, where you're coming from, what your experience with your class was, and where you want this to head in the future. So basically, guys, tell me about yourself. Just have that ready, and that will help you answer subsequent questions throughout the interview. All right, so so I have one more question. I was trying to get Lila to call in. Lila, if you could call in, please. I think I missed your first call. So one more question. If you had advice for any people doing, not necessarily students coming out of the class or people trying to get into the class, but persons in the field right now who are trying to move up, move sideways, get more money, figure out where the next steps would be. What advice would you have for those people?
So I would have them. My advice to them would be just to make sure that you're comfortable with yourself and what you have to offer, and then take it from there and scale up as far as making sure you have all your paperwork. It sounds cliche to say make sure you have all your certifications, make sure you have all your certifications, and be able to speak to why it's important to have all those certifications. Because if you're talking to a recruiter and they ask you, what's the CHL, what's the CER, you have to be able to elaborate. Well, a CER is a certified endoscope reprocessor. It's important to have that because it shows that I'm competent and I'm knowledgeable in that realm of flexible scope reprocessing. And then, a CIS is a certified instrument specialist. Well, it shows that I'm, knowledgeable in handling all instrumentation, and even took it a step further into becoming a specialist in that field. So you're just gonna be able to really explain why it's important to have those additional certifications. And my advice also would be to make sure that you stay abreast to what's going on. Be able, know that, AMD guidelines just had, a revision on ST79, be able to, keep up the current trends. What are some hot topics in sterile processing, whether it's what's the hot, the podcasts, is the webinars, just staying abreast of what's going on in the industry and then applying that knowledge to, into future employment, whether it's you look into
Hello.
in that field or.
Hold on, Dante, hold on. We have a call. Yeah. Who's this?
This is Lila Price.
Hey, Lila, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing good, thank you.
Awesome. I just wanted to shout her out. I really appreciate when we can have a platform and talk about our industry, and just shed some light on it and just show positivity and affordability and all those great things. I just felt really good about seeing it. I just wanted to shout out and say, hey, everything's been such a long time, but except social media and see your beautiful family. Just want to say hello and how are you? Just looking forward to all the big things that you're doing because it's amazing. And I just want people to be able to see those options because they're true viable options. There's so much you can do with this career and just catapult, and you are probably example of what that looks like and how to get there. So that's all I just wanted to say it.
Thank you, Lila. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it, Lila.
You're welcome. I'm going to join back in on mine, but thank you for just providing this platform tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Lila. Thank you so much. All right. So that was nice of Lila.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So that's it for the day. On that note, if you have anything else you want to say, advice you want to give, things you want to promote, any persons you want to thank throughout your career, or anybody that helped you out, give you a helping hand that do not know they gave you. Because there are some people sometimes they help you out and then you just figure something out when they give you that extra hand, and then they don't really know that little gesture helped you out that much. So anybody you want to shout out, say, hey, in 2015, this person helped me out with X, Y, and Z, and that really helped me move me along in my career or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long list, but I would like to first thank Will Logan for having the class for me to even take the class back in 2008, and then showing me what you can accomplish from having a privately owned class, and then along with a whole list of people that I took. Like I said, I took a lot of information from, and just observing and being a sponge from Gino, Tony, Dave Fry, even Marsha and Chop, her being an instrument specialist, if I'm correct on her title, even yourself, Deannard, when we worked together. So I'd like to thank everyone that I work with, because each person I worked with as a peer or even as a subordinate, I took, pieces of, it helped me become who I am as a manager today and a leader in healthcare. And it helped me in some of my philosophies and how I manage my department now.
All right, man. Thank you. You're welcome. I don't know what I did, but if I did it. So yeah, we had some tough times down there, but we made it work though. We made it work.
Yeah.
Boy. So on that note, I will be ending the podcast. Let me play a little ad here. So guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate it, and we are out.